to introduce our guest speaker.
Herbert Gayle is a lecturer in social anthropology in the Department of Sociology, Psychology, and Social Work at the University of the West Indies, Mona, Jamaica. More importantly, he spearheads the initiative Fathers Inc. Fathers Incorporated is a community-based parenting group established by Jamaican men in 1991 to address negative stereotypes of Jamaican fathers. Negative images were based on the notion that men who fathered children out of wedlock tended to refuse to acknowledge them or provide financial support unless legal action was taken. These unfactual images motivated the Fathers Only Group to take action to attract positive publicity to fatherhood. With his charisma and wealth of knowledge, Dr. Gayle has been working assiduously to impact our nation in this way. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Herbert Gayle.
Say good morning. All right. Blessings and blessings, right? Blessed love. All right. Always good to see the man among them, right? Okay?
Yes, sir.
And it's interesting because words these days mean a lot, right? I notice the young people now are very searching. Because we had lost a long time. Now they have a question why, right? You see, they understand why. Every tea asking why. And you know when they say why, it's a resurgence. It's a resurgence of manhood because for quite a while we genuinely lost our men. Feminism had become so powerful that the men really couldn't even remember what they are. In fact, I remember being in England and somebody said, boy, girls, I think we're going to start to spray estrogen in the room where men are to see who look up. You know what estrogen is? The key hormone that distinguishes a woman. Imagine you get to a point where somebody suggested, if you want to love their men, principally, spray some estrogen in the room and see if they look up. If they don't look up, they're gone. That's how far we've gone. When somebody makes a suggestion that you have to check your biological core, that is a big statement about how far we have assessed ourselves for God. But I want to share some philosophies with you this morning. We can fix it. You understand? I know Luke a very long time, but Luke is actually a member of Father's Day. Yes. Right. All right, so, right, what I'm saying to you is I want to share a few philosophies with you this morning. Okay, and one of the first ones is if you have a cavity, don't disrespect a dentist. What do you mean by that? If you have a rotten teeth, yeah? Those are rotten teeth in Jamaica, so rotten teeth. Yeah, right? If you have a rotten teeth, right? Don't disrespect a dentist. What does that mean? It means that you should be able to assess, to look around you and assess the people around you and know the needs that you have and whether or not these people fulfill these needs. So I want to ask, I want to have a rap with you. I want to find out from you, what do you think fathers do? Let me start with you. What do you think fathers do? Yes. Provide, all right. Once you say provide, you're a Jamaican. Jamaican people always provide first. So there are four things that fathers do. All right, provide is number two, not number one. Yes.
The teacher of become a man.
Huh? teach you how to become a man. All right, good. Number 3. Still looking for number 1, yes? Nurture you. All right, that's number 4. Still looking for number 1. What's the biggest thing your father do? Yes.
Protect.
Protect. All right. Stand up for me. Somebody see the person who's number 1. Thank you very much. Do you know why your father is your Minister of National Security in your yard? The protector. Why? Because we are 1/6 time bigger than a woman. Start with that. We are 17.2% larger than a woman on average. And we're made up of 2 sets of chromosomes, right? X and Y. What do we have? We have an X, right? That we get from who? Our mother. And we have a Y that we get from our father, right? Clear? We clear so far? Okay. Now that's simplistic because that, but I'm trying to make it simple, right? You write everything I say on the exam when you get the Bible. But from this Y chromosome, we've been studying this Y chromosome now for a very long time. As in SOAS, LSE, the schools that I'm associated with, right? And we've been studying John Hopkins, Berkeley, we've been studying this Y chromosome for a very long time. And what we've noticed is that it is not growing. It is actually shrinking. So the X chromosome has 1,402 gene frames on it. And by the way, everybody here should know by now that 21 years of work, and they now have completed the entire genome of the human species. There's nothing anymore called twins. If you are twins and you commit a crime and you go to the court, we just call somebody who's very advanced and they can tell the 103 differences between the two of you. And we know is this one did it. Remember those days when twins did damage and they come and they go, oh, it's twins. We can't tell which one. You may go. Those days are done because the genome was completed in February of this year. You should go and look. They have now divided twins into 100 of differences. Because genomes are the little pieces that make up the gene. And they've completed 21 years of work in this. So when you go to the Y chromosome, the Y chromosome determines the sex of the child, right? Hardcore biology this morning, right? If you're very busy, you're more likely to produce a girl baby. It's not complicated. Why? Because girls are easier to raise. Human species, brilliant. Yes? If you're a farmer, have a lot of food, and require a lot of strength, you increase your chances of producing a boy. Which is why the country places produce more boy babies. Not rocket science. Now when you take the Y chromosome, here are the concerns we have, and you split it down, the bulk of that is supposed to be about a word that starts with A, aggression. So that is why every time parents call me and they're like, Doc, I have a child, you know, I have a little son, and boy, he's just quiet. Quiet. Boy, quiet. You can see the contradiction, right? Huh? Because when a boy baby is born, do you know what boys do when they're born? They look up at the fan. The mothers, they look at me now. Look. Fan, it's moving. Can I put it down? Oh yes, you're just born. You think I'm joking? While the girl baby is there looking at the face of the mother and going, oh my God, what a painful world. And next week I'll be complaining about how painful this world is. But boys from birth are interested in what? Movement, aggression, getting things done. Alright? And you're not going to be able to multitask and do a whole lot of things. You're going to have to focus from very early. So let's get back to the philosophy. We're saying you should know who the people that around you are. You know what your mother is good for. Your mother is the Ministry of Welfare. Alright? And you should be able to distinguish, even as a child, the difference between a good mother and a bad mother. Because what a good mother does, it makes sure you're okay. And a good mother also treats your father well. Because when your father have a little fresh cold, you know, him too need them right gone, right? Like, oh my God. Oh my God. You know, as big and bad as we are, just one little flu, right? So the women are about laughing because they know, right? They know one little flu that men are bothered by things they can't see. Because we like big things that we can't break, right? Right?
What's
And
it
attack,
up?
right? And go and get
What's
them
it
away. But the small things becomes a bother to us, right? Okay? And we don't like to go to the doctor either. You know these things. You learn very soon. It's difficult to get men tested for prostate cancer. I'm relying on prostrate to test the prostate. No, sir. A man said to me, boy, I'm rather dead enough. Rather dead because prostate cancer kill people slowly. But once you finger me dead. So we are a little bit different from what a lot of people think. We have a lot of pride. Right? As I'm saying, you have to know the people around you. Your father is responsible for 4 things. And we've listed those 4 things. Stay with me. Oh, he doesn't know the test. The surest test for prostate cancer is not a blood test. It's a finger. What we encourage the men to do is to make a female nurse do it. The finger is smaller and a little kinder. But when you get to your 50s, right? When you get to your 50s, you will have to go through the Freddy test. It's called in Europe the Freddy test. Okay? Because the prostate is right there, and they literally have to check to see if it is swollen and so forth. But don't fret. Not everything about being a man is that rough. Alright? See all the men over 50 shit together and say, Lord, why me? Right? But don't worry yourself. But your father is responsible for, let's go, protection, because he is 1/6 bigger than a woman, and 42% of his Y genomes are about aggression and protection. We protect even women who disrespect you. Did you know that? Part of the reason why feminism has achieved so much is because of our genes. We'll just have a woman say, hold on for dead, and we cross her. You think I'm joking? And after you cross her, like, why do that do? Because she deserves it now. Your genes says chances are. Our genes are very trusted, you know. The same woman who cuss you every day, right? Yes, man, I know your business, you know. You want a girl who cuss you every day. When you come out and they come out and you meet them at the bus stop and she's said, hey, where are you going? You are still willing to take her across the road and take care of her. Am I right? Say, yeah, huh? Because your gene said, yo, Reggie, you don't know, maybe one day. And a woman can take you to many places because in your head you keep saying, maybe one day. You never can tell. See, you understand that? Yes. See? Right? Maybe one day. So 42% of our gene frames, our genomes, are about aggression and protection. And that's the first thing we do. When we go to war, the first principle of war is we never kill women and children. Did you know that? So Russia and the USA having a little play time now. They have a little play time now, right? Xi Jinping come out and say, well, you shoot down your balloons. We investigate your balloons. We see your balloons every day. That statement is one of the most profound statements. Biden, you're big and idle and just shoot down little balloons then. We fly artificial intelligence and investigate your balloons and learn whatever you have in there every day because you have more balloons over us than we have over you. And Xi Jinping said it. And one of the things I like about it, he makes his statement and he will step back and say, bad man done. Right? But if you watch China and the USA having their little playtime now, if the war comes, the first thing we do is protect who? Women and children. Why? Because they are the ones who replace us. Women are what is called replicators. Right? Okay? And therefore, our white chromosoul will always protect women. That is why the women in my department and the head of the department can make a whole lot of noise and know they can get away with it. And I have to make you come to speed early, that you can't do certain things and get away with it. Because you can't reproduce. You facilitate reproduction. So don't sit down. I've been listening to young men these days. How she do it. Double standard. The double standard, ask your teachers, are built into our systems. Did you know that? A little baby girl comes and is rude to everybody. And they say, she cute. And you go try. Sit down! And you're like, what a double standard is built inside of us. So you have to understand the genes that make you up. Then provision. Despite the fact that women in Jamaica, listen to this, because this is the bomb. Despite the fact that women in Jamaica are 228% more educated than men, break that down for you. Out of every 100 people in Jamaica educated, only 34 are men. Women are twice more educated, but women only earn 63 cents for every dollar you earn. Men find a way to get money. What we have to do is to teach them how to make the money legally, so that they're not entrepreneur. Let me see how they get
Chapa.
entrepreneur. The young man called me in the program and said, yo, Dr. Gayle, pick up yourself. Man, the entrepreneur thing, you know. Yeah, entrepreneur. The young man said, you don't see the Prime Minister said we can't say chopper anymore, so we just put it in our language word. Entrepreneur. See how brilliant we are? And it always amazes me, what if we could create an economy that allows these young men to become entrepreneurs? What if we could make them make the transition from chopping to popping? Huh? And bopping, because you know we have to show off a little bit, right? Because the girls don't select the ones, I'm going to talk to you about this, the girls don't select the ones that are, am I certain of myself? There's a contradiction that we young men have to get started with in your head very early. I'm going to tell you about the female cycle. I'm going to tell you what they do during this cycle. 67% of women have a 28-day cycle, and the others could be 35. The longer the period cycle, the less children they're able to have. Or it could be 21 on the shorter side, right? 21, 1 to 21 produce the most eggs. Because they're producing literally 17 sets of eggs for the year. The one with 35 are on slow motion, right? But the bulk of women are on a 28-day cycle. Follow me closely. If a female only likes you during the pain period, the menstruation period, you need to begin to check your behavior. Stay with me. I tell you, we're taking you down some serious hardcore biological roads today because you need to learn these things. When do you want girls to be attracted to you? During ovulation, of course. Which says that her body says you are right. Did you get that? Do you know when's the best time for a girl to select a boy? During what is called the progesteronic period. And I'll explain this to you, just a big word. It means right after her period is, right after ovulation and everything is done, she finds the most intelligent males to talk to. So you want two, so there are 4 slides in her period. During the pain, the period leading up to the pain, right? After the pain, that's ovulation. And the ovulation period is when she is happy and wants to go on adventures. Women even have the most car accidents during that period because for the first time, they genuinely become about 40% aggressive as men and get themselves into trouble. Every time I talk to women, I say to them, you know, there's a laugh in all of your conversations. For 4 days in your entire month, you get 40% of our aggression and adventure, and you have a car accident and die. Now, female teachers, be patient with them, because if 40%, my brother, they didn't get 15, 40%. And then you can have a whole line of vehicle in there. Everybody knows the car, the most notorious car, overtaking a line of vehicle, 100 feet down. Yes, man. And then, oh my God, I'm adventurous today, and then they overtake a whole line of vehicles. Studies are now being done to check where in a woman's cycle she is when she has car accidents. Usually in the ovulation zone, when their bodies are very hype and they feel and they turn on the music, play to 6, right? 6 is the big group now, right? Turn on to 6 and just cutting through the whole line in the 100 feet. Boom! We have to live with this every day. Did you know that? We have twice this amount of testosterone working with every day, and that is why we have to learn to check ourselves, as I heard you talking to them, principal. We have to learn to check ourselves because we have 1.6 times more energy than women to burn. So what's the major advantage fathers have over mothers? We have energy to burn. Ever see a child climb up on the settee and jump off at the mother? A kid that try to kill me. So the little boy and the little girl climb up on the settee and said, Mommy, catch me. Hold on. After me work so hard and me coming over there try to kill me. But did you know if you climb up on the settee and jump off on your father, and your father so happens to be smaller than you, the idiot will still try to catch you? You grow bigger than your father, man. Daddy can still catch me. Yeah, man. Brace yourself, right? Brace yourself. And you jump up and you drop flat. And you go down there and lose your strength, you know. Because your father is your rock. Your father is your what? Rock. And the rock dare not move. Fathers, you hear me? The rock what?
Dare not move.
Imagine this whole country is built on a rock. And you move. You see the hurricane coming, right? Hurricane season now, you're like, geology, can we move this whole island? There's a storm coming. Man's life is not as simple. We don't get the chance to move. If you live in a violent zone and people are coming to attack your house, you can't run. There's one Italian captain who, when the ship was sinking, jumped in a lifeboat and left the passenger. And nobody in Italy has forgotten him. He can't even get a job. That's the life of a father. You can't budge. Because if you do, you know what's going to happen. Your children are going to die off and lie flat on the ground. Don't make no grades at JC. Don't do nothing. You understand that? So here's the essence of it. What's the number one difference? How do we identify a boy's relationship with his father? Simple. Not rocket science. Number one, stay with me. On average, If you are close to your father, 78% of upper middle class people have an active father. Don't shake your head, just follow the data. 63% of middle class. You see the class missing? You see the class moving? We're upper middle class, right? 78% of upper middle class. Anybody who becomes an upper middle class, meaning you're earning more than 10 million Jamaican dollars per month, take home. Yes, there is a definition. Okay, and we're not talking about the 28 million and the 22 million, that's politics. Right? We're talking about the more than 10 million take home, which is the marker for upper middle class, as in upper middle income. Anybody you see up there, chances are 78% of the time, they have a strong active father. If middle class now, which means between 6 million, right? Right? And 9.9 million, right? With Mr. Everybody, with me? 64% of the time, he has a strong active father. Watch the figures. If then he becomes a near poor, which means less than 6 million, right? 48% of the time, they have a strong father. And if they are poor, and poor means unemployed or unemployable, nobody can employ you, because you have no skill. Only 31% of those had an active father, and the father himself was poor. See the value? So we go back to the essence of what we're saying. If you have rotten teeth, never disrespect
The dentist.
the dentist. If you're coming to school, make sure you have a good relationship with your father, with your parents, because they're the ones who are going to back you and make sure they have your six. Do you know what I mean by have your six? Huh? When people go to war, those of us who are trained in violence like myself, we know about V formation because we also do military training. You fly here as a shooter on both of your flanks, three plane, and you in the middle, 7 of you. And the guys out here says, you're good, we have your 6. And that's how men behave. Isn't that how we behave? Walking down the road, and you see a little bridging and somebody coming in the bridging, we have your 6. And I'm not saying it doesn't put us in trouble, you know. But the day young men stand up and watch other people beat up your friends is the day the human species ends.
True.
You think I'm joking? Any day our testosterone, sir, drop to the point where you allow your brethren to suffer and does not help, does not have his 6, we can all check to see if we have cojones. I am not saying you should go on the road and fight. I am just saying you must always be protective. That's what we were designed to do. You see your brethren getting into a fight, say, yo dog, low that. With me? There are many ways to have our 6. Okay? When I was growing up, let me see if I see anybody inside here I can pick on who looked like me when I was growing up. I graduated from high school weighing 107 pounds. Can you picture that? 107 pounds, 5 feet 7, 107 pounds. I put on 4.5 inches at college. So I grew late. That's what happened when you suffer from nerdism. You're growing late. No, Luke, I never had glasses. I was a nerd without glasses, but I was very, very small. And one of the core things I remember, being very small, right? I was a top student, top singer, with everything. And my brethren said to him, yo, Herbie, now watch no face. You are the brains, and we there. We there. And it didn't matter where I go. I'm going down. This is in Sagamore. Thank you. I'm going downtown. And then say, yo, now make you nerd. Walk alone in that town is rough enough. And you see me going downtown to buy something. Yo, Herb, we there. My 6. And we're going downtown and buy buy stuff and I walking back. I wanted my mother saw me in the road and go, you walk with an entourage? I said, Mom, you don't see my size. And that's why I felt so proud when I heard you don't allow anybody in a wheelchair to be just all over the place. Are you with me so far? That's not what men do. Can we get an aroo here? Aroo.
Aroo.
Yes, ma'am. We don't do that. We don't let our brothers suffer. We don't let our, can you say that with me? We what? We do not
let our brothers suffer.
When a brethren and he's struggling with the business and he need a few cents to put together the business to start, I say, yo, brethren, you know, so when we did at JC now, if me need some lunch and we come to you, you'd have said, yo, dog, this is some food here. So you may lend the money here. You know, people don't know why men have more money. There's so many studies about why men have money. And guess what? They see the results, they don't see the pain that leads to the results. No. I have brethren and brethren who tell me that hurts. You see my business right now makes 50 million every year. And there's a little brethren who comes down here in the day and he said to me, give me your money now, and I'll take out $10,000 and give him and I'm gone again. And everybody inside here goes, we must take out $10,000 and give to the youth. He said, this is a man used to make sure we have food every day at school. Do you understand? Do you understand how we live as men? I want to tell you a little bit before I go about a very big word. Monoamine oxidase type A variant L. Take your time.
Go again.
Most of you who go on to do neuroscience, you're going to have to work with these words so right from now.
You hear that, George?
Monoamine. So it's MAOA. And when I'm done, promise me you'll type it into Google and press enter and look. Just MAOA. That's the words for it. That's the abbreviation. MAOA means monoamine oxidase type A variant L. Now, some of us who come to school have this gene in our bodies. It's a gene we get because we grew up in so much violence that genes protect us. Because if you live in violence and you are soft, chances are you get killed easily. You have to be strong. So some of us get that gene. Because we only have one X chromosome, women have it, you know. But women have an L for low and an H for high. Because they have two X chromosomes, right? Only 1 in every 10,000 women will have an imbalance, and therefore